I call the Honourable Minister Nikki Kaye.
Mr Chair, look, it's a pleasure to take a call. I have listened to several very technical speeches from the opposition, and I want to just briefly also remind us why we are here. It's great to see cross-party agreement in terms of public sector reform. It's also great to see as well that members are taking such attention to detail. So I want to touch on a few speeches that have just come before us. Firstly, I was surprised, given David Parker's extensive legal experience, that he needed me to walk him through what are the definitions of the bill. So he asked, what is a responsible minister and what is the difference between that and the minister? So I'm happy to walk him through that. The minister refers to the Minister of Finance, and the responsible minister refers to the minister responsible for a department. So very pleased to correct that for Mr Parker. The second clause, the other clarification that Mr Parker asked for was around clause 80. So I'm as well very pleased to give him some clarification regarding that. And that change is specifically to enable the Treasury to also be able to issue instructions to new departmental agencies for the purposes of Section 81A. So I'm glad that I'm able to clarify that as well. The other thing that Mr Mallard raised was around defining departmental expenses, and do we need to do that? And there are a couple of reasons. That's right, departmental expenses. And the reason that we need to do that, there's a couple of things. We want to be more explicit about chief executive responsibilities for departmental and versus non-departmental expenses. That's the first reason. The second thing that I wanted to make clear as well is that departmental and non-departmental are mutually exclusive. And the third point is the terms are used throughout the bill, and not everybody who is reading that bill will necessarily have the experience that that member has in terms of that difference between non-departmental and departmental. So I'm so very, very pleased to be listening so intently to the opposition speakers. But what I want to make this point is, why are we here? We're actually here to create greater flexibility in terms of our public sector so that we can focus on outcomes. And I want to finish with one quote by a member of the opposite, because I think it was the best quote that we heard tonight. It was a speech by David Cunliffe. It was a great quote. Compared to some of his colleagues who focused on very technical issues, he said, we need to do more with possibly a little bit more, but even less. And I felt that's a seismic shift in New Zealand politics. It's a seismic shift from the opposition. I'm delighted that they have now supported our policy in terms of public sector reform.
Mr Chairman.
I call the Honourable David Parker.
Well, I'm very glad that